Am I overreacting? My boyfriend told me he started dating me to bully his brother. Original post. I, 24 female, normally live with my boyfriend 25 male, but I'm spending the week with my cousin, who lives about an hour away. By the way, my boyfriend and I have been together 2 years. My boyfriend has been reaching out to me via FaceTime or text every day saying how much he misses me. Yesterday we FaceTimed and he said he can't wait for me to come back. I laughed and said that it's only been a week. He paused and randomly said, "Crazy that I only started dating you because of my brother, and I actually love you now. That wasn't the plan, haha." He was laughing and reminiscing as if it's all a fond memory. I got confused and asked him to explain. He grinned and said that his brother, 24 male, had a massive crush on me back then. For some context, I met them both at a gym. My boyfriend worked there as a personal trainer and still does. He said that he used to tease his brother about it. He was like, "I made it my personal mission to have you." I was like, what the heck? So you started dating me to show off to your brother? He put his hand up and said, "Hey, it's not as bad as it sounds." He explained that he found me physically attractive, though he admitted he didn't like my attitude. So sleeping with me to bully his brother wasn't a big hurdle. I was so pissed and confused, but he said that it's not a big deal and that I need to calm down, etc. We hung up and had this text back and forth. I'm still so pissed and in disbelief. I feel like my entire relationship was based on a lie, and I don't even know what's real anymore. Edit to post messages. Me. So help me understand. You seriously only started dating me because you wanted to make your brother feel bad? Am I hearing this right? Him. Yes. Me. Why? What kind of person does this? It's so messed up. Him. It's not that bad. He was obsessed with you, and it was funny to take what he wanted so desperately. It's a brother's thing, lol. Me. So it's a brother's thing to hurt each other? Do you even like me? Him. Don't get me wrong, babe. It started as a prank, but I fell in love with you. Yes, you had an attitude, but that only made it more blank brains out, haha. Don't think now that none of this is real. It is real. And I'm not lying to you, babe. Not anymore. I wouldn't still be here if I didn't like you. Me. So your brother had a crush on me and was obsessed, according to you. Instead of supporting your brother, you decided to make a move on me just to make him feel worse. And you see nothing wrong with that? You know this tells me everything I need to know about you as a person. Are you a sociopath? What's messed up is that he's a nice person, and literally the least deserving of this treatment. I can't believe what I'm hearing and reading, and you think all of this is normal. Him. Why pity him, lol? He's fat. He's in his room 24/7. Never had a girlfriend. He's a loser. Losers don't get nice things. I mean, all he can do is jerk off to you, haha. If he wanted you, he should have been a man, don't you think? No one forced your hand. You wanted me because I made your blank tingle. He simped from a distance, hoping you would give him a chance. But you're a woman, so I don't expect you to understand. Me replying to losers don't get nice things. So I'm a thing now? Why are you speaking of me like I'm some object to brag about? Just stop texting me now. I don't want to hear anything from you. Him. Babe, you're making this a bigger deal than it is. It's just a funny memory. It's just a brother's thing. No big deal. Babe? Come on. PMS? He's a kissless, overweight virgin. If I don't teach him life lessons, who will? I'm doing him a favor. He should be thanking me. Me. Stop texting me or I'll block you. I need some time to myself. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Why does this sound like a story of 17-year-olds? I was genuinely surprised when I saw the ages of everyone involved. Just so I understand what he's saying, the brother is overweight, out of shape, introverted, and not experienced with women? The thing is, his brother had a girlfriend in the past, so not sure why he's calling him a virgin. Not overreacting. Your boyfriend is an a-hole. Just look at his tone and how he talks about his brother. You really were just a thing for him. He would have left you long ago if he didn't fall in love with you. Seriously, no matter how I think about it, it's crazy AF. Also, look at how he talks about you, OP. You wanted me because I made your blank tingle. All he can do is jerk off to you? That's so gross, honestly. My husband has never spoken to me like this. And then accusing her of having PMS? What an a-hole. This is 100% naughty brother thing. I'd move heaven and earth for my bro. Honestly, my sister 23 female and I 30 female don't really get along well. My mother says I despised her when I was younger, probably because I resented not being an only child anymore. And she's on the spectrum, so she, to my young brain, got more attention. But I would never do something like that to her, or talk about her, or treat her like a loser. That's not a sibling thing. It's a sociopath thing. We get along better now, but even back when we were both in school, if I had found out someone was treating her that way, I'd beat the crap out of them. That is a sibling thing, not genuinely thinking they are lesser than you and keeping people they like from them. That's insane. My brothers are absolute a-holes to each other, but I don't think even they would go this far. Like you have to genuinely, fully despise your brother to treat him like this. And he hates him because he sees him as a loser. That's it. That's literally it. He didn't even do anything to him. He just existed slightly wrong, and now he's subjected to pure vitriol and hate for it. WTF. Not overreacting. Your boyfriend is casually cruel, and you're right. He sees you as an object. Now that you know he treats family as NPCs, is this what you want in a partner? Can you imagine what he'll be like to his kids? F that. If he's teaching his younger brother this messed up lesson, what would he teach his son in future? Men are scary, I don't know. Now for the update. So in the end, I broke up with my boyfriend and I'm planning on moving out. Going back to my sister's place while I figure out what to do next. I canceled my gym membership at the gym he works at because I don't want to see his face anymore. I also texted his brother that I found out everything because my ex was dumb enough to confess his scheme, like I wouldn't dump him over it. I told his brother I'm sorry for the hurt he's been through and that I'm always here to listen if he wants to talk. Edit. Can y'all stop telling me to have sex with his brother? It's getting weird AF. I really wonder about people who just drop red flag nuclear like this. During the 2 years they've been together, did he never do or say anything that raised a red flag? Did OP never notice how the a-hole ex interacted with his brother or told stories about family? You wanted me because I made your blank tingle. He simped from the distance, hoping you would give him a chance. But you're a woman, so I don't expect you to understand. Like, how could someone who so lightly spoke like this never slip for 2 years? Not OP, but in my experience. In the beginning, no, they don't show any red flags. They normally seem like Prince Charming at first, then the mask slips a little, and he makes a mean comment about his brother. But you know how siblings are. I call my brother James Jimmy because I can. Then it slips a bit more. Maybe he makes a comment about you or someone walking by, but they're so few and far between, they can be excused as just an extra bad day. You can kind of tell when he thinks he's lost her though, because there's no real reason to keep the mask up. They can't plan out fights and play with you like a doll anymore, so time to break the toys. I really think he didn't talk to her like that on the regular. Next story. Am I the a-hole for cutting off my lifelong friend after he lied to keep me out of his wedding? I, 27 female, have been friends with Josh, 27 male, since high school. We were always super close, but it has always been 100% platonic. Think siblings, not romance. We grew up side by side, and over the years we've been through everything together. Family drama, rough breakups, new relationships, late-night vent sessions, and even celebrating each other's achievements. He's been one of the most consistent people in my life for nearly a decade. In 2018, Josh started dating his now wife Maddie. From the very beginning, Maddie wasn't comfortable with me. I completely understood why. She had mentioned having past issues with an ex's female friend, and I knew insecurities like that could linger. Because of that, I made a conscious effort to respect her boundaries. I pulled back from how often I reached out, invited her along to hangouts, instead of just asking Josh, followed her small business pages, commented supportively on her posts, and generally tried to include her whenever possible. At one point, Josh admitted that he hadn't told Maddie when he and I hung out, just the two of us. I immediately told him that wasn't okay, and that he needed to prioritize her comfort first. I reminded him that while our friendship mattered, his relationship with her came first. That seemed to smooth things over for a while. Things even improved to the point where Maddie and I went on a double date with Josh and my boyfriend. It went really well, and I thought maybe we had turned a corner toward mutual trust. Not long after, Josh confided in me that he was planning to propose to Maddie. I was genuinely happy for him. But in the same conversation, he also told me that I wouldn't be invited to the wedding. His reasoning was that they were keeping it tiny, just 20 to 30 close family members. I told him I completely understood, didn't make a fuss, and even gave them a generous engagement gift. I asked him to send me the registry when the time came because I wanted to support them, even if I couldn't be there in person. After that, I made small attempts to keep building a friendship with Maddie. I invited her to things and even followed up when she once suggested another double date. But every time it ended with, "We're too busy," or plans just quietly falling through, I chalked it up to newly engaged life being hectic. Fast forward to the actual wedding. I only found out it had happened through social media posts. And it wasn't the intimate, tiny 20-person wedding I was told about. It was a full event with close to 200 people. All of our mutual friends were there. People Josh wasn't even very close with were there. Everyone except me. What stung wasn't the lack of an invite. I would have respected it if Maddie just didn't want me there. What hurt was the lie. Instead of being honest, I was fed a story about a small family-only event, and then I had to see the truth online. My boyfriend feels like I went above and beyond to be respectful and supportive, and he's upset for me too. Now I feel like I've lost one of my closest friends, and I don't know what else I could have done differently. Would I be the a-hole if I sent Josh and Maddie a message saying I'm hurt and then unfollow them on social media so I can finally move on? Or should I just leave it alone and quietly let this friendship go? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but I wouldn't bother with a message. Block them, grieve, and move on. Yes, this. They don't deserve a message. They don't deserve a single ounce of your effort or attention. Block them so you don't give in to the self-destructive desire to follow them on social media and move on. They're not your friends. She never was, and he hasn't been at least since the engagement, if not before. They don't deserve a message, and women like Maddie will twist anything OP says and act vindicated in her psycho insecurities. Literally this. I, 28 female, had a friend 32 female who let her new wife, who I had gone to high school with, tear our friendship apart because of her insecurities. My friend cheated on her first wife, and her new wife had previously been cheated on. And even though my former best friend and I had always been platonic and nothing more, I completely supported her and her wife, and I still ended up being left out in the cold. The worst part was that my friend of almost 3 years didn't even defend me to her wife. I blocked them both, but unfortunately we work in the same place. I give both of them the dirtiest looks, or act like they're not there if I see them. Long story short, screw them. This might be unpopular, but I think we should go back to the way friendships used to dissolve before the age of social media. Just let it go. There's no need for closure, which I realize you already said. But I would skip the blocking part. It's really not that difficult, and it's good self-discipline. Friendships dissolve, sometimes organically, sometimes with some explosions. I don't know why Josh felt he had to lie. It might not even have come from Maddie. But if OP doesn't feel like she can inhabit the same apps with someone without going off the deep end, there is more to work on than just the loss of a friendship. I agree with this. I get blocking harassers, but I don't get blocking friends you want distance from. Just do the slow fade. It leaves room for casual contact, the equivalent of being on someone's Christmas card list, and even for resuming the friendship in the future. Last story. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with my fiancé even if I caused the accident? So a month ago, I was at my fiancé's house. I was supposed to spend a week there. One day he was still at work, and I decided to cook something. The important thing here is that his kitchen has 2 electrical sockets. I don't know if this is the right translation. Sorry if not. I don't use English usually. I was using one, but I had to mix something, so I needed the other one too. About 2 minutes after that, the mixer cable started getting warm and then smoke started coming out of the electrical socket. I unplugged the cable, but it was too late. There was a fire, not big, but still scary. I immediately ran to turn off the power and then managed to put out the fire. but I didn't know what to do next, so I ended up calling the fire department anyway. They arrived quite quickly and helped me a lot. It turned out that when my fiancé showed up at the house, the firefighters were still there along with the electrician. Of course, I paid for all the damages and apologized to my fiancé, but he was still upset. And we had a big fight because he claimed that this electrical socket was always broken and I should have known. I really had no idea. So I ended up going home. A few days later, he called me and apologized. Generally, everything seemed to be returning to normal. We met up and talked. His kitchen and the rest of the house were fine, etc. The thing is, there's one detail that's stuck in my head and hasn't let go. See, my fiancé has a dog. This dog was with me during the incident. When my fiancé came home, from the entrance until he reached the kitchen, he kept calling his dog's name, and he hugged his dog first. I really can't stop thinking about it. He didn't know what had happened yet, but he never once called my name or paid me any attention. And once we started talking, it was immediately an argument. He never once asked if I was okay, if I had been hurt or what. On the one hand, I feel very selfish for making this about myself when it was my fault. On the other hand, thinking about it makes me think about other past events when he simply didn't care about me or cared more about something else. For example, there was a carnival in our town and we were walking down the stairs when I tripped. My hands and knees were all scraped up, but his first reaction was to ask, "Is the food okay?" Or when we were going on a trip, he was driving and I felt sick, but he didn't want to stop or anything. There are big gaps in time between these incidents, and it's not that we don't have good times and he never cares, but I feel like there's still a strange amount of it in our relationship, more than in other couples. He blamed you for using the broken socket. No blame for himself for not fixing the broken socket, or at least putting some electrical tape over it so it couldn't be used until it was fixed. A very temporary measure only. Not the a-hole. You should listen to your intuition. Facts, like he shifted all blame when he literally knew the socket was busted. That's not just unfair, it's unsafe. Dude, not the a-hole all the way. The whole fire thing was a freak accident, no one's fault. And forgetting that, the dude checked on the dog before you? Priority check much? And those other examples are setting off major alarm bells. Your feelings are valid, homie. Respect is a must in every relationship, period. Sounds like he doesn't exactly have your back or prioritize your well-being. You deserve better. I don't care if I get downvoted, this is my hot take. The whole fire thing was a freak accident, no one's fault. I bet the fire marshal would have a different opinion on this. There is a reason why there are regulations on kitchen wall sockets in most places in the US, like GFI only, not sure where OP lives, but it may be different there. If you have a faulty electrical socket, that is priority number 1 to fix. And failing that, get one of those plastic plug blockers until you do so, no one uses it. This is absolutely the boyfriend's fault for not having taken care of it in the first place. I'm actually mad that OP paid for the damages.